It's 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
With 7 minutes, or even 6 minutes 30 to go, I welcome you all to the Cyanide Super Formula Championship Round 5 here in Spa-Francorchamps. Many of our drivers are already out on track for this 50-minute practice session, which has already gone halfway past, and a few of our drivers have already completed a few fast laps here. Colonel Burkus right now top of the leaderboards, 151.0, followed by Chris Boxall, just a 10th behind, and then Roland Justin 3 tenths behind. It's going to be still 5 minutes of practice session here for all of our drivers to get used to this car track combo, as obviously these cars hard to get used to, as they're quite nimble, but still a lot of downforce to get used to, and Spa, not the easiest track to get down, needing to nail all these corners perfectly. Running down the championship order, let's run you down. We have after round 4, Jack Oliver right now leading our championship here. He is right now not quite on the server yet, so this might jump the competition quite a bit round. Roland Jutskin right now, we are on board, camera on him is second, and he might have a chance here to jump to P1 in the championship, followed by Chris Boxall third, just a few points down of our top 2. Spa, obviously difficult to get down correctly. Hard on the tires as well. On the right-hand side tires, with Puon going fast through the downhill left-hander with these high downforce cars, so difficult to get down correctly. We might see some action already in practice here. A lot of cars going out the pit lane now with 4 minutes. Many of our drivers wanting to get a track correctly, as 14 out of our 17 drivers are on track. Here we see the tires need to be up to temperature. That is, I believe, Justin, and I believe that was Park there. No, that's not. I apologize. That is one of our drivers who just left the pit lane to get those tires warm. Right now with Andy Park. It says to me purple sector 1 on screen, but right now only had a yellow sector 1, and stops right at the downhill part of Puon. Not quite a corner where you want to stand, and now goes back to the pit lane. Cornel Burke is second right now on track. Half a second down of Andy Park here. Important that they need to get this down, as obviously the pace you see here in qualifying, in practice, might be the pace that we might see in qualifying, and if you don't get it down now, you might not get it down in qualifying. With just 50 minutes each in these sessions, not quite as much time as you'd love on Spa as well. 1 minute 50 per lap, as Colonel Burkis goes fastest by 2 tenths. And that is something that we'd like to see here. Our drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit and topping the leaderboards all over the place. Push to pass in these cars, 10 across the board, as we see Colonel Burkis taking already 4 out of those in that lap. Every time you leave the pit lane, every time you go back to the pit lane and leave, you will have all 10 back in your car. But in the race, only 10 to be used. So use them strategically, as obviously when you're fighting, they're best to use them. But if you want to create a bit of a gap, push to pass, always there to be used. You will see it next to the drivers' names at the top left corner, and next to the speedometer in the bottom right, the push to pass numbers, how many each one of the drivers have them. 2 minutes 30 seconds remaining in the session, and some of our drivers are improving. Ysbrand right now P9 has improved in sector 1, going now through sector 2, where we have to get these corners down here. Stavelot, then followed by Blanchimont, full throttle through here. There we are, the Fanatec rear wing car going through the first part, turn 16, then turn 17, followed by a hard braking point, the bus stop chicane. Very difficult to get it nailed down, as a bit of a lockup going through there. We might see that often in these cars, as those tires easy to lock up, as those brake powers are incredibly strong. And also a lot of torque, as on the exit we might see some smoke coming out of those tires as well. That's important to keep an eye out on, as tire health important for a long race like this. 2 races today, 20 minutes each, so I believe no pit stops if the drivers be careful with the tires, but we might see pit stops happening across the board, so important to be careful with tire health. As going around the track, 19 corners across the board, 7-kilometer long track, one of the longer tracks of the season, of the calendar, and quite literally has all parts of corners that you need, all difficult kind of corners going through here. As we're going down Bruxelles, very difficult downhill braking zone, then going to the right, negative camber as well, so gotta be careful with that rear end through turn 9, as Bruxelles is quite famous after the calm corners of 6, 7 and 8, and then Puon, quite one of the most popular corners in racing history. The right left-hander downhill, as well as Spa is on quite of a hill in Belgium here. So this track has everything across difficult corners, sharp corners, downhill corners, and even uphill corners, as the bus-stop chicane showed us. But now going still with, I believe we are here with Johan Karolczak. I'm sorry if I mispronounce these names. We have names from all over the globe, so I apologize if I misread some of these names here. I'll try my best, but not as the easiest, as we will see later during the race, when quite some action happens, that I might stumble across a few names here and there, as practice session is coming to an end here, and I believe right now Conor Burke still takes top step of practice right now, as Andy Park is completing his lap. Looking at the timing board, doesn't look to me a good lap, and exactly completes the line and doesn't improve on his lap time right now. Next to cross the line was Johan, and he did have a third purple sector, but didn't quite manage to get the first two down and didn't improve on his lap. As he still has one to go, as he crossed the line before the checkered flag fall. So all the drivers here who are still pulling out of the camel straight. Oh, that's Isbrand's stopper. Out of turns 8, losing the rear end, going through it on that outside curb, and it's lost it as it goes back in the pit lane. Even went purple sector 1. Obviously, that's how fast we'll lose your lap like that. Next, Justin is still on track. We still have 5 more drivers out on track. We're still going, I believe. The next to cross is Ray Spider, who's going around Blanchimont towards the bus stop chicane, hard on the brakes, but it doesn't look to me to be a good lap, as lost in sector 2 here. Is he gonna go back to the pit lane? No, he's gonna complete this lap to just end his practice session over here. Down in 14th, I believe it is, across the line, and finishes in his practice session down in 14th. Next to cross the line, there we go. That was, I believe, Arno, who just run through that. Now Justin, last one on track to complete his laps, as goes into the pit lane, as we just couldn't see his car going in there. And that was it. With our drivers, Tuki Gonzalez, I believe, left the pit lane there, so has one more lap he can complete. Looking at the boards here, has last lap, the last completed lap was green sector 1 and green sector 3, but here goes yellow sector 1, but that's 2 pole positions, so he might have a shot here. Pole position, I believe, 2 P1, so he might have a shot here to jump a few positions up across the board, and maybe, I was about to say, to maybe jump up to a third or even a second, as he abandons his lap and maybe gets used to the track. I don't know what's actually happening here, as goes back into the pit lane, and that was it for our practice session. After this will be followed by our qualifying session, and this is the session where you really need to hold out for, as now is all or never. Obviously the race is not won in qualifying or turn 1, but obviously any help you can get starting the front is important. Obviously turn 1 here in Spa has some history with race starts, most obviously known for the 2012 Formula 1 Grand Prix, where I believe about 7 cars have been taken out in a big crash in turn 1, or 1998 as well. That old turn 1 wasn't there yet. Wasn't a turn 1 then, but also a big crash happening on the exit. So hopefully all of our drivers will complete turn 1 very safely, very clean, and maybe have a good run towards Eau Rouge and Radeon, as afterwards follows the Camel Straight. You want to have a good run up there. Obviously in the slipstream, the best you can do is going for an overtake round Le Combe, as there's a 3-corner complex. You need to get those correct if you want to get as many positions, but going with a bunch of cars up there, not quite the best thing you could do, so you want to be up ahead before it even happens. As now we are in qualifying. 15 minutes. Some cars are already going out of the track. Here we are. These are contact already going out the pit lane with Johan Karoksak, and I believe that was now the whole borders jumping around. There was, I believe, Cooper there. Contact as well. So Roland Justin is the first one to leave the pit lane here. So now, many of our cars going out the pit lane now. David Cook already stopping out of the pit lane. Maybe waiting to get a bit of a gap to the cars up ahead. But also the next cars who go at the pit lane is Arno. Teammates here in the Wingers racing car. Oh, Arno has a bit of internet issues. Hopefully not going to be an issue for the drivers in the race or when close to each other. To let the viewers know, top 15 score points. Pole position is 1 point. So we're going to have to keep an eye on. Oh, what was that? That's a car lagging across the screen. I was nearly saying that was flying, missing a braking point, but it was not. Top 15 getting points. So two drivers being having to miss out on those points, as we have 17 drivers out on track for today's race. And obviously pole position is 1 point, which is very important in the championship, and you need to get it correctly. Justin being the first one to start his lap. Let's jump on board with him, going around Blanchimont, flat through here, 285 km/h top speed, even touching the 286. No push to pass in qualifying, as the rules say. Out on the brakes to go up the bus stop to start his hot lap around here. Oh, loses the VOD on the exit before the lap starts, and now across the line. Starts his lap. Let's see what he does. Going towards turn 1, hard on the brakes, down to second to not lose the V on the exit with all the torque these cars do. And great exit through there, not having issues with oversteer. Now going down towards Rouge is this left-hander, then to the right. But then the top part being ready on, needing to take this as perfect as possible, taking all the track that's available, and looks to me that he's done it very clean. Then down the Camel Straight, still hard on the accelerator, 285 km/h top speed, reaching that breath limiter, and hard on the brakes will it come. First right, then left, and then followed by another right, not to go too far, as there's gravel on each of the exits, and does it correctly. This not going or touching anywhere. Now down to Bruxelles, hugging that inside for as long as possible, get the rotation done. And now to No Name Corner. Lately has gotten a name, but we'll keep calling it No Name. And now down to Blue on flat with these cars, touching that inside curve, being careful not to lose the rear end. Now towards the first Banjo complex, right, then left, and then followed by a little braking point for Stable Low, which is this complex here, right-hander, followed by another right-hander. Then here, this name has a corner, is also a name, but it's also mostly known for No Name. Then flat until the bus stop through Blanchimont on the right-hand side is a go-karting track for anyone wanting to know. This track is quite so big that a karting track fits on the inside. But back on the lap here, Roland Justin looks to be on a good lap. Now bus stop chicane. Hard on the brakes, locking a little bit the front, but not quite to be an issue. This time not losing the rear on the exit, and completes his lap, being a 151.3. Next completed lap is Leonardo Gomez. Is he going to complete a good lap? Does a 154.0, not quite where Justin was. Gonzalez got second, but then jumped by Sarah Mulfate and gets second. Third gets Johan Carlos. Let's see how many cars going across. Gonzalez fourth right now. E.G. Kankai gets fifth. Leonardo Gomez, we saw sixth, but now gets down to seventh as Michael Sidlecki gets sixth place. Rice Spider goes back to the pit lane with his ninth place as Arno jumps up to seventh. Many of our drivers here completing their first lap. Obviously not being their laps, we're gonna have to look out for at the end for the qualifying station. We know they're about a second and a half slower than what pole position could be, as Colonel Burkes shows us again what power he has. Jumps up to the top, 151.0. Not quite what he's done in practice, but obviously with track evolution it takes a little bit of time for the tires to get used to the grip levels here. Next to cross the line is Aido, I believe that is, I've lost the name here. That is, I've lost it. I believe that was Cook now has to cross the lap, but I've lost the name there. Gonna have to look out later who I was, but now David Cook getting 6th overall here in this qualifying session. Colonel Burkus has pole position so far in the back and goes faster this time, about 2 thousandths faster than his fastest lap. Green sector here, going towards sector 2. Justin as well, green sector 2, but doesn't look to me he's gotten that sector 2 down quite yet. But oh, purple sector 3, but does not beat Colonel Burkus, as Boxall goes up 4th fastest here in this qualifying session. Going back, many drivers here. Andy Park as well. Purple sector 1, 3 tenths. That could be pole position if he gets it down correctly. Going through Stowe. Now through the no-name corner right-hander. Then up to Blanchimont. Lost a little bit in sector 2, but that could still be pole position here, as Colonel Burkus goes purple sector 2. And this could be it. A battle between Andy Park and Colonel Burkus, as Colonel Burkus goes up the bus of chicane, not losing too much time on the exit, and goes improving by about 2 tenths here, 158, as Andy Park gets provisional pole position, 150.4, about 4 tenths faster than Colonel Burkus here, and that's what I've seen before. But not Ege being the next one, 2 being a green sector 1, being 6 tenths slower, but this could get him up to 3rd if he completes his time here. There's someone off, going back to the pit lane. That was Sarah, teleporting back to the pit lane as, Michael, issues going out of Lecom, teleports back to the pit lane. Many of our drivers going green as well. David Cook as well has gotten a green sector 1, but he rather warms up his tires here to set up his next lap. Someone else going green, it looks to me not quite. Let's go back to Ege Kankai as, just as I go back, he has a mistake through the right-hander no-name and goes back to the pit lane. As right now, half qualifying session already over, and we already have some heartache moments and some spectacular moments happening in qualifying so far. That was my mouse, so no one panic. It was my computer. Back to Ege Kankai going out again. 7 minutes. You have a few laps yet you can do. No, don't stress it out yet. You want to have maybe slipstream from a opponent, but rather safe than sorry. As next to be green is Tuki Gonzalez here, going for the bus stop. Green sector 1, green sector 2. And I believe this might jump him up a few places, as he jumps up to 5th place. Incredible work. 151.5, 5th fastest overall. Andy Park still having here his pole position in the back so far, as no one improves, as Roland Justin is improving just off Andy Park in sector 1. But going towards Puon flat, we see that speedometer going still up, down to 270. I believe faster top speed than we saw our first driver going into pit lane. And now towards the first Fanjo complex, right then left. Very well done. Then towards Stowe corner here, right-hander. Well done as well, taking as much exit as possible without touching that gravel, but has lost 7 tenths in that middle sector. And Andy Park might have some luck here, some cushion to his opponents here, unless Roland Justin has an 8 tenths improvement to sector 3. But that's obviously very difficult to get, but obviously not impossible. Roland Justin going up the bus stop chicane, taking a lot of inside curb, even hitting that sausage curb and jumping a little. And that looks to me to be an improvement in sector 3, but not enough to improve in position, as Eastbrand Stopper goes 4th fastest, car behind. Sarah as well is improving 4 thousandths behind Andy Park in sector 1 in that Red Bull livery. Here Sarah going through Puon flat through here, same speeds as we saw Justin do as well. So setups might not be as different on our top drivers here. Obviously setups being open for anyone as anyone can work on their setup. If we're having issues with the stream, I believe that's the game. I apologize for that, but I'll try my best to keep this running. Obviously, we might also have issues internet-wise overall, being some issues here. Now, 4 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in qualifying. Roland Justin goes green as well, but let's go back to Sarah, being only 2 tenths behind Andy Park. This might be P2 if Sector 3 wasn't an improvement, and P3 just off Cornel Burkis here by about, that is, if I see it correctly, 5 thousandths of a second behind Colonel Burkis. And incredible, as so close to is the competition. Top 3 only separated by 3 tenths. Then from 4th to 6th only separated by 2 tenths. And then back down again, a few tenths separating 7th to 2 tenths even. But obviously Sarah goes purple sector 1 faster than Andy Park. Andy Park has issues going up the bus stop. Roland Justin had issues as well, goes back. But let's go back to Sarah, as we saw. Purple sector 1 going down. Bruxelles, I believe that this is here. Incredible done here. Now going to No Name and going wide onto the ground, but hopefully not losing too much time going down to Puon. Flat. Getting a good slingshot effect through here. Is obviously going towards a Fanjo complex. You need to have as much speed and downforce as possible. And it looks to me very well done through here. Sector timing is going to come out close. It's after this right-hander here, after Stowe. What's the timing going to be? Looks to me, just 2 tenths slower in Sector 2. We saw that might be the gravel that Sarah has taken out of No Name. Turn 10. Incredible that the pushing is so... they're pushing themselves so far. They can go off track, but only 2 tenths. If Sarah gets Sector 3 correctly here, she might jump up to P2 or even P1 if she gets it. Incredible. Is she going to get provisional pole here? Goes across the line and gets... She stops and did not improve in position, but it didn't improve on time. But Colonel Burkis did, I believe, improve as well. And they're only 2 tenths behind Andy Park now. As Colonel went purple sector 2 last lap, 2 minutes, and everyone is now absolutely pushing everything out of their cars, what they can. And our top 3 is still open to get the provisional pole. Andy Park has it right now. He's gonna start his lap after this. Obviously with that bus stop mistake that he's done in the previous lap, he might need to look out for, as obviously right now he's 8 seconds down in this delta. Colonel Burkis mistakes, goes back into the pit lane and needs to go out quick, or else he doesn't have time for another lap. But right now he doesn't, as Andy Park starts his lap now. This might be the final lap that he can do. Many of our drivers are going to start the last lap in these final seconds before the timer goes down. So Andy Park goes through turn 1 pretty well, no big issues there. Down to Eau Rouge flat, this part as well. These cars have incredible downforce. No issues at all for Andy Park going through at Radion. And now the Camel Straight. We see just how fast his setup is. 285 kilometers an hour. Very fast. Done. Hard on the brakes for Lecomte. Right, then left. Then hard on the accelerator. Then right again. Taking not as much curb as you can, but not risking it all. Down to Bruxelles. Going a bit wider to get that slingshot effect on the second part of the corner. Going through No Name turn 10. Goes to left-hander. We saw Sarah make a mistake here, but Andy Park did not. Gets good curb, but it's not fast enough in Sector 1. Did go yellow Sector 1, but not still up on his delta. So this might be a strong lap for Andy Park here going through Fanjo Complex, right then left. Then closing in on the Stavelo corner. The sector line here as well, checking it out. Goes purple sector 2. Andy Park is pushing everything to get that pole position under his belt. He's still fastest overall. He might get it. Checkered flag is out now. Colonel completes his qualifying, does not improve. Andy Park next to cross the line. Arno next across the line, but doesn't look to me that he's completed a good lap. Andy Park is crossing the final couple corners for his qualifying session. He's up on his delta, crosses the line. What's it gonna be? And improves by a 10th. And goes provisional pole position. Sarah next, purple sector 1. Goes through turn 10, no name corner. Has a bit of traffic up ahead, but could use it to an advantage to get this slipstream. Eastbound Stopper has a mistake and has to finish his qualifying in 6th. Boxall as well, P9. Many of our drivers are still out on track, so I'm not checking out eye out if anyone improves as well. And oh no, Sarah, big mistake through the Fangio complex, and that is her qualifying over in P3. Next to across the line is David Cook going down Brooks. Wow, it goes down Blanchimont, then up the bus stop. Looks to me that was good. Might improve on his position here if he completes his lap. And does complete, but doesn't improve on position and finishes 12th. Next, that is... Wow, there's a lot of cars going a final corners. There's Leonardo Gomez is also in a pack here. Carol Zach goes up into P5. Gonzalez did not improve. Seedleg is going to cross the line. It doesn't improve either. Gomez doesn't either. And Rice Spider and Andy Park being the last drivers out on track to complete their laps. Andy Park did not look to me. Only Spider being the only one to complete a lap, as Andy Park has completed his qualifying. Rice Spider goes through the final couple corners and does not improve and goes down in P16. Danny Tutui, I believe, is not is not doing laps. I believe wanting to start last, maybe a qualifying ban. I have not known the news. So this is our qualifying session here. Andy Park gets pole position and gets an additional point that will help him in the championship. Cornel Burkus P2, not quite getting that pole position and additional point, but maybe in the race we will see some great fighting. Sarah P3, Justin P4, Karol Zak P5 and Newman P6, Eastbrand Stopper P7 and Gonzalez P8. As we're gonna jump to the race very soon. Gonzalez P8, Boxer P9, Seedlecki P10, Kankai P11, David Cook P12, Arno P13, Skype Cooper P14, Leonardo Gomez P15, and Rice Spider finishing our group here in P16. Very close across the board. Our top 3 are just 4 tenths across from each other, but the top from second to third only 4,000 hundredth. Then 4th, 5th only only 1,000 across each other. That's exactly 1,000 between them. And then Newman only being 1/10 behind. Then again, Eastbound Stopper and Gonzalez being 8,000, 7,000 between each other, and then followed by Boxall 1,100th behind Gonzalez, and then 1/2 second behind is Seedlecki, and 3/10 behind is Kankai. David Cook 2/10 behind, and Arno a second. Our final drives maybe not getting a good qualifying session here, but obviously in the race everything can be decided. 2 races here, and a lot can happen in our first opening laps, being with our pole position driver here, Andy Park. Looking at that livery, beautifully done. Looks to me that he has set his eyes to a good position. So we're now up to race 1. The cars will be out on track now. Here we are. Everyone lined up on the grid. And this will be a race starting to not miss. We will see a lot of cars trying to get a good run towards turn 1. A few drivers even backing out, as different strategies across the board for many of our drivers. Some want to get a good run to get an overtake. Some want to maybe back out and not risk a collision. We will see who does what in a few seconds. And 4 cut warnings for our drivers before a penalty applies. So you can only go above the white line 4 times before the stewards will think for a penalty. And Spa being very the difficult with track limits, you need to have an eye out on where to put your car. All our drivers are picking out a strategy very fast through here. Everyone is on the same compound, the soft tires. And with 20 minutes in the race, the soft might make it to the end, but might not as well. So depending on what drivers do, a pit stop is might come in handy in today's race. As the tension builds up for all of our drivers across the grid. Many drivers here hoping for a good position. Many here for a championship battle as well, as the top 3 are open so far, and it can still come out to anyone in this championship. Lights are on now, so we're gonna see the lights turn on here. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, 6 lights. Revving goes on, and it's pedal to the metal. Go, go, go. And Andy Park gets a good run. And Sarah gets a good run. There's a crash in the back immediately. Sarah on the inside. Berkus on the outside. And Sarah might get the position down. 3 wide in the back as well. Goes on the gravel of 3 drivers. And Andy Park gets that good start and has already a bit of a jump. Colonel is just ahead of Sarah. Sarah couldn't make it stick. But now going up Eau Rouge and Radion. In this slipstream with Sarah. Just behind. And then when he's one stopper. Everyone wants to get the position done. And it looks to me, looking out of cars, 3 wide. And who is going to get the position? Who's going to be latest on the brakes? This one, Justin managing to get the position too. Andy Park as well. Sarah gets the position on Berkus. Berkus falling down 2 positions. This one's stopper having to back out. Carlot on the inside. And nearly contact in the back as well between Karok and Michael. And in the back, that's Michael dropping down. Andy Park running away. Justin second. Sarah third and Berkus fourth. There's a crash in the back. That is a car spinning, and quite a few drivers going off. There's another car off. That's Newman falling down the grid, and Gonzalez losing the position to Boxer. Kankai just behind off Michael Siedlek, and Spider here following the 2 drivers, Newman and Arno. Arno on the outside, now on the inside for Fanjo Complex on the inside and gets a position number 4. He gets the outside line and is up in the front. There's a few cars spinning round. That's Boxer and Kankai spun round and losing positions. Up ahead, Karol Trax is very close to Berkus, who had a very shocking start and dropping down to P5 from P2. Andy Park, incredible start from him, and he's very happy on what's happened. Now going towards the bus stop chicane. Corner on the inside, wanting to get the position back on Karolczak, and it looks to me that contact between Eastman Stopper and Karolczak. Berkus gets his position back, and now towards the turn 1, hard on the brakes. Not many cars going side by side, but still following very closely. A lot of smoke coming through, a lot of lockups happening. Newman in the pit lane. Gomez and Boxer jump up. David Cook might be the next one to jump up, but look at that timing. This one Stopper has only used 2 push 2 passes, as did Sarah. Andy Park has used none, while Justin only used 1. And now Sarah is just closing up to Justin, 8/10. Next to close in is Johan Karoksa to Berkus, closing in 5/10. Gonzalez very close to Eastman Stopper. And top 7 are still very open on positions. Only Andy Park being the one who gets a great start and running away. Sarah losing out through Bruxelles, but through No Name might have a good run. Being careful with that dirty air, but it doesn't look to me that she's struggling too much. Johan Karolczak also not struggling a lot, following Berkus through here. Berkus trying to get back his positions that he's lost on the race start. Having lost 2, nearly 3 on the race start, being not quite the start that you're looking out for. 4P9 as well. Seedlek, he's catching on. Rise Spider, Rise starting in last, jumping up into 8th. Incredible from him. As Boxel is gone, has lost a position to Cooper and Kankai, as Ege Kankai has Kansai, I believe that is, has left the pits, going up into P13. David Cook, B12, but up in front, Sarah is still catching to Justin, 3 times catched in the final last sector, being now half a second behind Justin. Ray Spider loses the position to Sidlecki, going side by side nearly through the Blanchimont, and they're gonna make a 3 wide through the bus stop, and that's I believe that is Arno trying his absolute hardest to get past the cars and just not quite manage. Ray Spider gets his position back to Sidlecki, and Arno having to back out a lot. and even going under the grass for the braking point. Did not lose too much time as you see the cars going towards turn 1. Arno being very close too. See Lecky here. He wants to get that P9 position, getting a lot more points. 2 P15 points, and the higher you are, the more points you get, that's obvious. But Sarah here, up with her. Very, very close, right in the slipstream, going for the outside towards Lecom. Who's going to be late on the brakes, going to be braver with the car. Looks to be Sarah, gets it done before the corner even starts and gets up into P2. Sarah's eyes are now set on Andy Park to get that P1. Justin just couldn't follow Sarah through those Lecom complex and lost already half a second. While behind, Gonzalez has lost about his 10th too. East one stopper. But see, Lecky and Rice Spider still duking it out, going through Bruxelles, trying the outside line, but didn't quite manage. For Michael here, going through No Name turn 10. Left-hander, and Michael is very close too. Rice Spider, Arno following this pack as well. Cooper, mistake. Lost the car, I believe that is through Lecom, and that is sad to see that he's losing more time, but back on a battle here. Going for the switchback, move through, Fangio complex, did not quite manage. Arno now having a look as well. Well, who's going to get the position here? Arno looking for that inside, nearly sending it, but did not quite manage. As Arno loses the rear, has that contact and hits the wall. Is Arno going to recover the cars fast? Does he have suspension damage? Doesn't look to me. Back to Michael Seidel, he lost out through No Name right-hander after Savalo and lost about 8/10. And this battle here has gone incredible and sad through 2 of our drivers. Eastman stopper mistake through the bus stop as Berkes as well jumps up to P6. I believe Berkes as well had a mistake, like going from P4 down to P6. Eastman stopper wanting to get the position back. 6 minutes into this race and a lot of position switches happening here. From P2 to down the grid as well. Eastbound stopper following Berkes. Rouge has not quite the opportunity for a overtake, and he does see that, and now following down up to Camel Straight. Is he going to use a push to pass here? Did not use it yet. Berkes as well didn't use one, has one in his pockets that he could use, but side by side through the com. And Eastbound stopper late on the brakes, has been braver and gets that position done. Colonel Berkes drops down a few positions more, goes on the gravel and is round onto the wall, and oh, that's a big incident. But manages to catch it back, car back in a few seconds, and it's lost 4, but that damage is gonna heavily improvise the car drivability here. And now Cornell, 30 minutes, needs to maybe look, or maybe a strategy change here, maybe fixing that damage, going through Puon. It did not look to me that he's having too many issues getting that line correctly, even going full throttle. And looks to me that Cornell now might have to get those tires back into that window as they spin like that, gets them up to temps, but in the back, Ray Spider and Michael Siedelecki back on battling, going through Stablo. Now No Name, who's going to get the better run? Michael has the slipstream advantage. Both on the same push to pass number. Are we going to see a use here? They haven't used it yet. Look, Gomez used one. And now side by side for Andy, for Michael Seidel and Ray Spider. As Andy Park does the fastest lap. Michael is on the outside, Ray on the inside. Who's going to be late on the brakes? It's Ray by quite a bit, but too much. And it's off the track. But rejoins just ahead and loses a position, as that's obviously in the rule book, so you need to give it back. And gets Michael Seidel finally gets the position back, but Ryder does not back out yet. Wanting to get for an inside move there, but couldn't quite manage, and goes back onto the rear wing. The gearbox for Sidlecki did not quite get the move done, but obviously for 11 minutes these two can still do quite a lot of damage to each other, or even help each other out with the slipstream. In the back we saw a few cars going close to each other. Ege Kansai and Gomez here. Leonardo Gomez versus Ege Kansai. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm going to keep saying Kansai. Going on the outside. Gomez on the inside. Kansai is going to be hard on the brakes. Who's going to be late on the brakes? And it's Gomez, and there's contact. And Gomez is off the track and onto the gravel. And that is sad to see what has happened with these two battling. Oh, that is sad. Gomez dropping down even more. Cooper now getting position as well. Sad to see what happened to Gomez. Obviously hard racing, not always ending in happiness. as this time it has happened in heartache for Leonardo Gomez. But Kansai also not coming out clean-handed as well, with a bit of damage on that right-hand side pod. He might feel like the drag improve, getting worse, and not having as much straight line speed as he would love. Something I'm going to have to point out for Andy Park, still hasn't used any of his push to passes, but he's still fastest car out on track. Last lap being a 151.1, last lap from Sarah being a 151.4. Andy Park has absolutely nailed everything for this weekend here. And he's going absolutely strong throughout this weekend and throughout this race so far. I hope I'm not jinxing him for the remainder of the race, but Andy Park, absolutely monstrosity here, dominating so far. Halfway across the race and a lot of action happening. Next we might see Roland Justin. He's slightly catching to Sarah, with last lap not being for Justin's side, being 4 times slower. But in the middle sector, Roland is just a little bit faster than Sarah. And the cars out on track are not quite in battle range. The closest on battle range is Ige Kansai to Arno for P10. Not the final points position, but still a obvious position where you need to get a lot of points. And is Ige Kansai with his mistakes in the starting part of the race and a bit of contact throughout the race. He wants to get as much time out of this race as possible. He's catching, he's losing to Arno. I'm sorry, I was about to say he's catching. He's losing out to Arno here. Lost 4 times through sector 1. Arno here pushing as much as he can to get away from Kansai, and also maybe having his eyes out for Ray Spider. Michael Seidlecki has run away from that battle for P8 and has gotten that position. Cornel Burke, sad to see that he's dropped quite a few positions, starting in P2, being down in P7 now, and he might have a shot. Top 8 reverse for race 2, so he's gonna, if he keeps his position, start in second again. And I don't know if that's coincidence, but Cornel Burke has something with that P2 grid slot. Justin is slowly catching to Sarah here. Was 1.3 times last lap, 1.1 times this lap, but all across the lap, last lap was a 151.7 for Roland Justin and 151.9 for Sarah, and that must have been the 2 times that he's gained in that that has been said. But it looks to me through turn 1 that Justin is just struggling a little bit more than Sarah and lost about 3 times, and that's not something you want to see, as that turn 1 being a point where you want to gain as much time as possible. After that, the run from turn 1 is the run that's quite the most important on this track, as that's the longest straight on this track, followed by a Rouge, but in the middle of Rouge, but there's still a flat corner where you want to go as fast as possible. And now going down, Ige Kansai has catch again to Arno, and Boxel as well catch. So this might be a 3-way battle here for P10. Who might get the best out of this? 4 push to passes for Arno, 5 for Kansai, 5 for Boxel. Arno has the downside here, and oh, that's a great run through Lecom out of Kansai. Now through Bruxelles, not quite improving through the corners, but with that 30, it's quite understandable. But now these 3 going down towards Puon. Who gets the greatest run? Obviously the cars with the slipstream might get the best top speed, but towards a Fanjo Complex, who's going to be late on the brakes. And it looks to me that Boxer has catch the most time through there. Kansai goes to a wider line to get a better run, and Arno nearly onto the gravel, losing out a bit of time. Gomez mistake into the wall, but down, and retires from the race. Ige Kansai, we see the green flashing on the top part of the T-cam, and he's used the push to pass. Arno push to pass, what a coincidence! Is Arno off? Not quite, but it was a huge touch. Kansai and Arno are fully using everything. That bump drafting, and into the wall goes Ige Kansai, flipping his car. Arno having used everything he could to get past it, but too much, and pushing Kansai into one. Boxel, winner from this battle, gets both positions and is up into P10. Kansai trying to recover from that incident. He managed carefully to rejoin. A few cars are coming, but does he have suspension damage? That was a huge incident. Looks to me that he's recovered the car in one spot, but Arno's, that was. The stewards might have to look over that one again between these two. But that was a huge incident. And probably also it might be a highlight for this race so far between all these battles. But Arno, having lost a position to Boxer, being down in P11. Not quite what he would wish for. Losing a bit of time as well to Boxer. It's at 1.5 seconds now to the P10 position that he was comfortably in. Up ahead, Conor Burkes showing that he has the pace and catching to Eastbound Stopper, being 9 tenths behind. Ray Spider, mistake out of Bruxelles and started the no-name corner and lost the position to Arno. And Arno's back into P10 comfortably, but does he manage to catch back to Boxall? Not quite, has lost another half a second through that part of the track. As Ege Kansa is down in last place, sadly, but he's not far from Newman. Might catch a few positions back, as KK Burkes as well is closing in on Eastbound Stopper for that P6 position. 4 minutes 50 seconds remaining in the session. And this is still a lot of hard racing and a lot of position changes that can happen. Everyone right now racing is gonna get points. So points getting across the board. Important for all of our drivers. And now, 4 minutes 30 remaining. Ege Kansai looks to me that he's not catching any more. That damage really showing on his car. And Conor Burkes as well, not quite catching to Eastbound Stopper after sector 3 and turn 1. He is about a second on par with Conor, Eastbound Stopper. Conor has done a 152.1, while Eastbound has done a 152.6. I believe Eastbound has done a mistake his last lap to have lost those 7 tenths, but now has catch back up on his pace here. And Conor Burke is trying everything to stay on par with Eastbound Stopper here. It's now down to 8 tenths. Has catch 2 seconds through Lecombe and Bruxelles. And might have a shot. He is in the slipstream range now. 2 push to passes for him. Eastbound Stopper has 3. So Eastbound has just a bit of an advantage with those. And one driver who hasn't used them is Andy Park. Incredible. He just is so comfortably driving. I don't think there's a rule for the leader to not use him. And if there is, Andy Park, even without him, is still, right now, fastest car on track with that fastest lap. But right now, Sarah has catched in that final lap. 151.0. And, oh, I apologize. That was the fastest lap from Sarah as well. There we go again. 150.9. Sarah has given up on staying in second and wants to catch that P1 position. And is pushing everything on the exit there, nearly going wide onto the gravel, and lost her 3 tenths through that, and that is gonna hurt her all towards Lecombe. Not quite what she wants. Conor Burkes as well, catching to Eastbound Stopper, about 7 tenths now. He's still in that slipstream range. Both has used one of the push to passes. As I've been told something in the race direction. Something there. I've missed that message. If it's important, it's going to be said again. But Conor Burkes not quite catching towards Eastbound Stopper there through Eau Rouge and Radion, but has gotten a good run through Lecombe, catching 2 tenths through that breaking point. Incredible done. Goes on the gravel, loses a little bit of speed through there, and that is incredible that he's just with that slight touch lost 3 tenths to Eastbound Stopper. Eastbound Stopper is pushing as well as hard as he can for everything that he's doing. He's pushing as hard as he can to keep that P6 that he can, and it might be that this is gonna be a battle to the line between these two. If Conor Burkes keeps up the pace he's catching, this is what might hang out for P6 here. David Cook as well, starting to catch 2 Ray Spiders. Ray Spider has done a mistake. David Cook might get that P11 as well. So we have a few battles that might happen to the line as well. 1 minute 20 seconds remaining. Final lap about to start for Andy Park. Here we go. This is, I believe, the second to final lap for Andy Park before Andy Park and Sarah are going to do a... Oh, I can't see that. That's cut off as Andy Park and Sarah are going through a... so what that is, we're going to have to see that as well, but... Andy Park and Sarah following each other. 2 seconds again. A photo finish, that's it. Andy Park and Sarah going to do a photo finish. I believe that's what the race direction is telling us. As yeah, it looks to me Andy Park is slowing down a little bit. As they might be spicing up this battle here. David Cook gets Ray Spider, but off goes David Cook. Ray Spider losing out the position to Newman as well. And now there's a freeway battle here that I've missed that. Reading what race direction has to say. And goes on the inside is Newman. Ray Spider has been pushed nearly onto the gravel, but keeps it up on the asphalt as David Cook, winner of this freeway battle, gets that position done. And that's incredible. Ray Spider obviously now has the best opportunity to get that position back. He still has one push to pass, as does Newman. 2 for David Cook. And now they're going to make it free wide towards the braking point, braking zone. As I have to jump slowly to Andy Park and Sarah. As here we are, the photo finish that we've been told that we're going to see. Going through Blanchimont, Andy Park. Which line is he going to take? He is on the inside, Sarah on the outside. Who's going to be late on the brakes? Side by side, beautifully done from them both. Are they going to do what Ralph Schumacher, what Barrichello and Schumacher has done? Let's hop here, and Andy Park gets that win, and Sarah gets P2, and they've done it beautifully, I have to say. That was beautifully done from the both. And Sarah, P2, Andy Park wins. Race 1 of Spa. But let's hop back. There's still a few cars racing. And Race Spider has lost to Newman. But David Cook is catching two Arno teammates. Are we going to see some team orders happening here? Both are using their final push to pass. And David Cook is catching to Arno. He's edging his way closer towards the braking point. Arno gives the position to David Cook. Team players come to part here. And David Cook gets P10. Arno P11. Newman P12. Ray Spider P13. And Skip Cooper P14 and Ege Kansai. Sad to see what happened to him, P15. And that was race 1 of Cyanide Super Formula round 5. Let's not leave yet, as obviously we still have one more race to go. Top 8 being reverse grid for the second race start. So Andy Park starts 8th, Sarah's P7, Justin P6, Carol P5, Gonzalez P4, Stopper P3, Burkers P2, and Michael Siedlecki P1. So this is going to be maybe even a more incredible, more action-filled race for many of our drivers here, as that is a grid, I have to say, a grid that is gonna be from slower drivers up front to faster drivers in the midfield. And now we might see some battles going towards turn 1. Obviously we are not hoping to see a 2012 repeat of what happened in real life Formula 1, but we might see some closer battles going towards Le Mans. Obviously setups still varying a lot to our top 8. We saw Andy Park and Sarah having faster top speeds, while Michael had a little bit less top speed, focusing more on downforce. And that is gonna be it's gonna be what we might see from many of our drivers, as race 2 is gonna start any moment now. The cars are gonna be up on those grid slots quite soon, and we have to see towards the race start who gets the best. Let's go on board with our leading car for race number 2, Michael Siedlecki, and he is gonna have to lead the entire group to the turn 1, and if he leads afterwards, he's gonna be up ahead and is gonna have quite a few cars following him, and those cars that are gonna follow him might want to have a look for that position. to maybe have a look through Lecom. But obviously we're gonna maybe see 3 wide, even 4 wide maybe on the Camel straight. Whoever gets the best run out of turn 1. We might even see side-by-side action through Radeon and or Rouge with our drivers here. These cars being not too big, so 2 wide is possible on a Rouge. But obviously it's all down to what the driver does with our cars here. They are very nimble, so one slight movement of the steering wheel will send you either side of the track. And with Arno's incident, we have seen what happened. So, Alba on track, everyone on the grid. And this is what we've been waiting for. Race 2, 20 minutes. 1 minute it says on the clock. That's just a minute for every driver to prepare. Fuel strategies. Maybe change the tire pressures or anything that they just... Those minor tweaks that they can change just before the race starts. One thing for the viewers to see. Looking at... I can show every driver the top part of the T-cam. That green light is the when push to pass is activated. They blink. So if I've missed saying push to pass being used, have an eye out on that green light to maybe see when a push to pass is happening. Push to pass before race 2 starts, I can quickly explain, is a bit of a boost button, which you can use 10 times throughout the race, but it only stays for 10 seconds. Many drivers use it for overtakes, but some drivers also use it for corner exits. So keep an eye out on that green light, as the lights will turn out any time now, and we will see the drivers gonna be very hard on that accelerator to rev those cars to the point for a perfect start. Last time we saw Andy Park getting a beautiful start, and Burkes not getting a good start, but he's starting back in P2. Maybe this time he can switch it around. Maybe he can get P1 even out of that line. All according to what the drivers do. All dependent to them. The lights will turn off any second now. There we are. Lights are on. And the first light will turn on any second. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and 6 lights. Engines are roaring. And it's go, go, go for a race 2 around Spa-Francorchamps. And looks to me, Michael Seidel get a good start, but Isman Stopper as well. On Burkes, on the inside. Burkes tries the outside on Michael. Is he going to get it done? And many cars going already 3 wide out of turn 1. And Connor gets a jump on Michael. Michael drops down. Side by side with Isman Stopper. Who's going to get the line? Is anyone going to back out? Not quite. And that's what he's saying. 2 wide. And they've managed to get a few minutes. There's a car off. You Rouge there. And Connor Burkes is leading the pack here. But Isman Stopper, great run out of Rouge. And is up on the lead. Colonel drops down. Michael nearly gets a position. Contact between the two. And is off. And spins it into the track. There's going to be issues. And there's another car taken out. That's Sarah. Sarah has been collected in that crash with Connell. And that's incredible. Justin as well. Many cars spinning. Cooper, Kansai, Cook just running away from the crash. And 5 cars already round. That's Arno goes off. And we have a restart. That happens if too much chaos happens on the start, and I believe more than half the grid has crashed across the line. So everyone back onto those grids. Hopefully we will not see a repeat of what happened there between many of our drivers, between Sarah, between Colonel Burkes, between Cooper, between Boxer. There was just too many incidents to even count. So let's hope we don't see too many of these incidents again. Let's hope we have a race 1 start like last time, as the lights will turn out in a minute, or will turn off in a minute again. Ray Spiders having issues, has left and needs to join back quickly, or else he will not be able to join for the race 2. He was starting, I believe, in the midfield somewhere, as we see a empty slot between the left-hand side line. That's where Rai needs to be. And now lights will turn off any second. Rai is back, but still in the pit lane. He might have to do a pit lane start if this is what's happening to him. Let's see what the drivers do now. Michael had a good start. Berkes had a good start. And Stopper nearly jumping the both of them. Let's see what happens to our top 3 again. We had a crazy start here towards turn 1. Many cars going 3 wide as well on the exit. And now, for drivers who are watching this commentary, hold brakes when spinning. But lights are off now. The first light will turn on any second. There we go. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, 6 lights. And it's go for the restart of race 2. Sarah drive through for jump start. Not good. Michael as well. Bad start. Berkes goes for the outside. He immediately gets a position. Ispan Stopper gets a position hold on Michael. And that is something that we've not seen in the first one. Cornell gets a position. Michael gets back on Eastburton. We're going to say repeat side by side through a Rouge. Are they going to have contact this time? Not quite, but they're catching 2 Berkes. They're going to make it 3 wide. In the back, Gonzalez and Karotska as well, trying to make it 2 wide. And towards Le Common. A lot of cars, and there's a 4th car joining. They're going to make 4 wide on the brakes. This one's stopping goes first, but there's a car cutting. 2 cars cutting. Isman Stopper gets the lead. Gonzalez 2nd. Cornell 3rd. And Karotska 4th. Sarah 5th. And Michael has dropped down all the way to 6th. By that turn 6, Lecom, incredible start this time. And I believe no incidents. Everyone has come out clean so far. As Arno and Cook are fighting free here. There's Cooper. Cooper's off. Cooper's flown to the right out of Puon. And that's sad to see. Gomez, I believe, was involved in that incident as well, is also off Puon. Arno's still catching to Cook. And Sidlecki, these 3-way battle here. Sidlecki with Justin and Newman behind. Michael sadly falling down. If Justin gets his position, Michael drops on to 7th. There we go, side by side. First person pass used from our drivers, and Newman gets it as well. Michael is down to 8th, to where he was after race 1. Sad to see that his lead has jumped away that fast, but side by side for Thomas Newman and Justin through the bus stop chicane. And who's going to get the better run? Michael might get those positions back if he gets a good run through here. Are they going to make a 3 wide? Not quite, but Justin wants to make an overtake through turn 1. Sticking his nose in, and they're still side by side, but Newman gets a better run and goes back up ahead. But these 3 are still not done yet, battling towards a Rouge they go. Justin in the middle, keeping our eyes on him, what he's gonna do. He gets a good run through there. Newman goes more on the inside to defend. Are they gonna make a 3 wide? Towards Le Com, and they are gonna make a 3 wide. We see in the back, there they are. Oh, nearly on the grass, gets pushed Michael. He has to step back out of it. Justin and Newman side by side. Newman wants to get the position. Keep that position. Justin wants to get it back and contact. Oh, Justin saves it. Joins 3 behind Michael. Oh, that was so close to disaster, but he's had a great catch there and only lost a few tenths. But that's how much a few tenths cost you. Another position, and it's down to 8th. Michael up to 7th. Up ahead, Gonzalez is just a second off Berkes, but I'm staying here on this battle as they are way closer. And we might see another position switch. Justin on the inside. Is going to be brave on the brakes. Just about side by side through the Fangio complex. And not quite. Justin backs out of that battle through Stavalo now. Sidlecki keeps his position, and that's it over for now. Let's jump up ahead a little bit for our P2 battle, or even P3 battle as Galokzak is also catching quite a bit to Berkes, but Sarah as well, and this might be a shot for Sarah to join our lead to get that P1 as into the pit lane goes Sarah. That's it, box for Sarah, and her battle right now is over for now. Sarah's dropping up position in the pit lane, but up ahead Karotskak and Berkes being very close together, but in the back Andy Park gets a position on Ege Kansai, but Kansai trying to keep his position on the inside, still side by side. Who's going to be brave on the brakes? So, alright, that was Sarah's drive through. I apologize for that. Sarah had a drive through that. She's now surfed, joining just behind Andy Park and Ege Kansai. So, drive-through taken. So, no more penalties across the board so far. And now it's going to be racing Burkes and Carrozza side by side through the com. Carrozza gets the position done for now, but is Burke going to respond? Not quite now, but going through Bruxelles. Bruxelles a good overtaking opportunity as it's a pretty wide corner. Corner makes himself visible in the mirrors, but not quite getting that run that he wants. Through No Name, not quite getting a position. Important there to get it through Puon, but not quite close enough. In the back, Justin and Siedlak as well. Siedlecki battling. Then there's a four-way battle here between Ray Spider, Ege Kansai, Andy Park, and Sarah Mulfeitova. Sarah is the leader, is a following car on this pack. Tries to get the position on Andy Park. Andy Park has used 3 of his push-to passes, while Sarah only used 1, so she has 2 more to use. Going towards the Fanjo complex, right-hander, then the left-hander, and Sarah not quite getting a good run through those, but Andy Park incredible, nearly going side by side with Kansai through Stabilo, but going nearly wide, and Sarah might get the run back. Push to pass used for Andy Park, and Sarah not using her push to pass as well. There we see the blinking. That means Andy Park gets up from the push to pass to enough speed to go for the inside. 3 wide between Andy Park, Sarah and Kansai. Andy Park trying to get 3 cars at once and goes off. 3 joins and go colorful boys, 3 wide and contact, and oh, that's Andy Park nearly into the wall, but he catches his car and joined just next to Ray Spider. Both were 1-2 in this battle, now 3-4 in this battle. Was Sarah and Kansai are running away. Now towards Rouge, there we go, Andy Park not losing too much time, trying to get it back towards Rouge. Oh, getting pushed as much on the curve. Nearly cutting the corner, but not quite getting the position done. Sarah to Kansai as well, following in the slipstream. Kansai just used this push to pass to turn 1. And Sarah gets with that slipstream, that slingshot effect. Side by side, late on the brake. Sarah gets position up into P8. Ege Kansai, not quite. Ray Spider and Andy Park juking it out here for P10. Andy Park with that slight contact before. He has orange damage at the front, yellow at the back. So his car might not be as healthy as he wants it to be. But he is not backing out at all. Gets a good run through No Name. Wants to make himself visible through Puon. Not quite getting the run, but he's still right on that gearbox. Makes himself visible left, right. Now on the outside. Now switching to the inside through Fangio. Contact again, and this time not quite catching it. It's on the gravel. Very aggressive for that overtake. Didn't quite manage to make it stick. And he's lost a lot more time to that battle. As now 4.5 seconds down. And that was just nearly a golden opportunity for a move which has gone down the drain and has had a half spin. Back up with battles here. Michael Sidlecki and Roland Justin up towards turn 1. They're also slowly catching to Colonel Burke. Yes, Ege Kansai. Mistake through the bus stop. Drops down to Spider, but Andy Park is just a little too far behind to get that position. And Sarah, being in this battle, has run away. It's about 4 seconds just ahead. And that's just how much as few mistakes can cost you. Incredible. Gonzalez as well catching to Istvan Stopper. 1 second between them all. Michael, 1 second to Justin. Kansai, 1 second to Spider. And Arno, 1 second to David Cook. So a few cars still here looking for battles to get some positions done. 11 minutes in this race, nearly halfway point of race 2. And this is incredible what we've seen so far. It's just no one has backed out yet. Michael catching 6 attempts now to Justin. Incredible how much they're pushing so far. Tire attempts might be up to the roof, but they just do not care. They're pushing as much as possible. Obviously no pits for anyone, so it's just a full-on sprint till the end. Half a second now between Justin and Michael. Towards Blanchimont, flat for these cars. And do we see a push to pass being used? Not by no one. Push to pass being the best used on corner exit. Kansai catching to Spider. And he is 3 attempts behind. Spider uses a push to pass. And that is him running slightly away from Kansai, as that push to pass has gained him 5 attempts. Back up from Spider's danger zone, as the closer at it, how strong his slipstream effect is. But Ege Kansai does not want to use his push to pass yet to catch Spider. But obviously everything is strategic here. You need to also keep your push to passes till the end of the race. Right now, being halfway over, many of our drivers have used about half of their push to passes. Keeping one just in the pocket if anything needs, if they need it for any moment. But Ege Kansai is slowly losing to Spider, about 8 attempts now to Spider from being that 3 attempts through end of sector 2, start of sector 3. But one driver that's catching a lot is Tuki Gonzalez to Eastbound Stopper. From, I believe Stopper has made a slight mistake to his lap. He was 6 tenths down on his delta there. So I believe there was a mistake on the sector 1. But now sector 2, Chris Boxer, fastest lap of the race so far, 151.4. He has right now basically lonely on track, but he wants to push as much as possible. I don't think there's a fast lap for fastest a 0.4 fastest lap. So all of our drivers are about to push as much as possible for what they can do. This unstopper leading our group here. Leonardo Gomez, 5 seconds for cutting, and that is what have been said before race 1. You have 4 warnings you can have before a penalty. And Gonzalez, I believe, no, Gomez has just pushed his luck a little too hard and has gone over the 4. Thomas Newman, fastest lap of the race, 151.3. Incredible lap from him. Not quite what we've seen in race 1, but obviously track times might change, and also track evolution has changed. So we might see later on Sarah nearly getting the fastest lap, but not quite, being 2 times off it. But she's also not catching anymore to Michael. But with those mistakes happening in the opening laps of the race, it's obviously used to be seen like this, where with mistakes the gaps increase quite a lot. Sarah's battle is not quite over, as we see it overtake from Kansai to Spider, side by side through Rouge, and his contact, right? Spider goes to the escape road and loses out a few time, and it loses time and speed for the Camo Straight. And Andy Park might have a shot here again after that side incident 2 laps ago. He is back in this battle here for P9. Might he get it this time? We know he has the pace. We know he is strong here. But will he get everything out of his car this time? Going through Bruxelles. Catching just a little bit. Going 1.1 seconds to Spider. Now 1.0. That's 1/10 catch out on the exit of Bruxelles. Another 10th catch through No Name. But just behind, David Cook is also picking up his rhythm. And is just behind. And these 4... I'd say 4, as David Cook is starting to join this battle as well, might bring us something here, as Boxer and Gomez, big crash on the Camo Straight, spinning around out of 2 of them. Boxer has managed to face it the right way again, but that's Gomez facing it wrong. That's again, I believe that's a DNF from Gomez, unless he can bring it back on track. Boxer as well back in the pit lane. I believe they have to serve out a penalty now for going back in the pit lane, as Skip Cooper has also gone back to the pit lane, but now gone out. Back with our leading battle here. These 2 have not left each other at all, and Gonzalez is just half a second. Andy Park, mistake. He is off before the bus stop, and that's him crawling down the grass. He's not accelerating. Does he have issues? Does he have issues? He's stopping. He stopped. He has stopped on the grass, ladies and gentlemen. Andy Park has stopped before the bus stop. And I believe he is over for this race. Has something happened to him? He's just not doing anything. Does he have setup issues? He's gone back in the pit lane. He needs to serve out a penalty for that one. But back to our leading battle here. To, Gonzalez versus Stopper. Stopper has catched just a 10 through Sector 1 and start off Sector 2, but Gonzalez is in the slipstream range. They have one push to pass difference between them. Stopper has one more. Gonzalez doesn't care though. He is pushing absolutely hard. Not used here on this straight. We know a push to pass catches you about 5/10. If Gonzalez uses it correctly, he might catch just enough time to go for looking for a move. While also behind, Johan Karoksak as well. Not quite out of the battling range. Cornel Burke is catching to Newman, who's up into P4. And Justin slowly catching as well, but not quite what we've seen so far from our leading driver. 6/10 still from leading car to P2. Aggressive on turn 1. Both views push to pass, blinking down towards Eau Rouge. Here, out of La Source, turn 1, and now Eau Rouge and Radion. Both have used it, so no gain advantage from any of them. While Karotsak, losing out a bit, has used one his as well before La Source, so he is just slowly behind, but not quite. He has catched it back on that straight, 1.2 seconds, while Colonel Burkes is just 1 second behind moving. David Cook, 1 second too. Ray Spider, he might have a shot here as well. 4 minutes. This might be a battle till the end. David Cook might go up back on his 10th place as he was before, but not quite being in that range for overtakes or looking for opportunities. While Gonzalez is just in that range if he gets a good run. I believe these two as well teammates, Arrow Autosport, so it's a 1-2 for them as well. So Arrow here absolutely pushing himself so far. I believe they're also not pushing themselves to the point of overtakes, but they're just gaining time to Johan Karolsak behind in P3. So Arrow here might get a few good points in the championship, as obviously Arrow right now leading the championship. So these two absolutely amazing so far. David Cook mistake out of no name. And that is not what you want to see from any driver. He's facing the wrong way on the grass, but has to catch it soon. There's no cars coming around, so good for him. But as Isman Stopper, fastest lap, 150.8. Incredible lap from him. With 2 laps to go in this race, Isman Stopper looks to be set to get that P1. Sarah, fastest lap, 150.753. Incredible from Lead Power Racing driver Sarah Mulfaitova. And I apologize so far with the butchered names. Afterwards, if you'd like, you can tell me how to pronounce it correctly if I commentate the next one. But obviously, I'm sorry if any mispronounced names are happening. I have to go off very fast, so whatever I say first is what I say so far. But 2 minutes remaining. Burkes catching 2. Newman here, 6/10. This might be a battle for 4th place. If this keeps on so far, 1 push to pass to the 2 of them. They have 2 more laps to go, so they have to strategize when to use it. Going towards Puon, both go flat through here. Colonel not having any issues with 38, it's just a bit too far. But not quite, not far enough for an opportunity. It's 4/10, now 5/10 through the braking zone. Braking a little bit earlier than Newman. Newman being a bit braver through those couple corners. But Burke is trying to maybe optimize his corner exit, but not quite enough. As going towards Blanchemont, both not using the push to pass yet. Following each other closely in the slipstream is Burke, 6/10. And that is enough for maybe next lap to look at a move. But wait, there's going to be an opportunity for Tuki Gonzalez starting the final lap now. In the slipstream is Tuki Gonzalez. He has 2 push to pass as well. Isman Stopper has 3. Obviously the teammates, they might not want to risk it too much. Going towards Turtlan, La Source, not quite losing it, both of them. There we go, Gonzalez has lost 7/10, both using the push to passes. Going towards Eau Rouge and Radion. Here we go, Eau Rouge 4, Tuki Gonzalez, then Radion up the hill. Incredibles for them, Arrows 1-2. While Sentinel Racing, P3 for Johan Karoskal, and Celestia Motorsport in P4, followed by, I believe, Conor Berkes as well being in Celestial. Not in Celestial. Following Newman. Rolling Justin, Arrow Autosport, the next Arrow car, 6th. And Arrow right now looking to top the leaderboards right now so far, 25 seconds, so final lap. For the drivers here, maybe we see some last moment overtakes, or maybe even a photo finish as we did with Sarah and Andy Park. Andy Park! DNFs from the race, that was what we've seen before. Boxall as well in the pit lane, and Gomez as well. This DNF from him does not finish that race. And Andy Park, sad to see, being dominant throughout the weekend, couldn't get anything out of race 2. And that's sad to see. Isban Stopper leading in the final sector, using his second to final push to pass. Going towards Blanchemont, flat through here, followed by his teammates. Hard on the brakes soon for the bus stop chicane, and is Gonzalez gonna maybe look for something? Other two teammates gonna switch positions, going for the final corner, and Isban Stopper is looking to me to get the win in the back. There's a crash between Conor Berkes and Newman. Newman gets it, Gonzalez gets second, Carlos second, but Newman gets fourth, and Berkes has risked everything but couldn't get it. Getting fifth, Justin P6. Michael Sidlecki P7 and Sarah P8. Ege Kansai is running the final couple corners for P9, while Ray Spider is running the final couple corners for P10. Arno Strong P11. David Cook also strong P12. While Skip Cooper has completed his lap race in 13th. Incredible driving from our drivers so far. And this was a spectacular weekend around Spa-Francorchamps. David Cook, final car 2, having to cross the line. I have to say, there's been happening so much in today's race. So many highlight moments that would go into my book. This is incredible. This is racing by the book. And also off the book, as we've seen a lot of risky moves being done and also completed. David Cook final to complete across the line, P12. Incredible racing from all of our drivers. Congratulations to Isban Stopper, race 2 winner, and Andy Park, race 1 winner. But also congratulations to anyone, as everyone is winners in this race. Every driver, even the ones that couldn't finish, everyone. Big congratulations to our drivers. As that was Cyanide Super Formula Spa-Francorchamps round 5. I believe we will not have anything afterwards, no interviews or anything. So unless we have them, this is gonna be the race weekend for it so far, and incredible racing all across the board. I am very thrilled to have seen an epic race like this, and that was race week round 5 Belgium here.
We can do interviews if you'd like to.
So we're gonna have interviews for a few of our drivers, which obviously is quite. I would quite like to know what what our drivers are thinking of this race weekend so far. Impeccable racing, and we might see interviews by a few of our drivers. I think our first driver is already in here, Isban Stopper. Race winner in race 2. Runners so far. What were your thoughts throughout race 2?
Well, it was. I was surprised that like it seemed like I really expected like Sarah and Andy to like go through the grids and like get it back up to us, but it didn't happen. Instead, in both attempts of the race 2 race start, which there was a restart, I just took P1, and then Tuki took P2, which is my teammate, and then like we just held the P1 like P2 formation to the end then. He just won. It was pretty smooth. I
Right.
really did not expect it today to get a win, but I'm not complaining.
So it was a team call to have you two running in 1-2, not battling each other. I believe I've seen you two having a
It
few
was not a
encounters.
team call.
Oh,
In
so
fact, my teammate was deafened, so I could not even communicate to him. I just had to hope that he was going to be nice to me, which
well,
he was.
yeah,
So,
we've seen that
it
before.
was all clean.
Incredible. What are your thoughts? Race one, you I believe finished in P7, sixth.
P6. Yeah.
What were you also expecting that position? Were you expecting higher or lower? What were your thoughts through race one?
I feel like I could have been higher up, right? So like P5, P4 somewhere. It depends because I didn't know what my pace was gonna be. And I got a lot of damage early on in the race with like small contact. I actually expected to like drop down further after that, but I just held P6 once I like reached there like before the halfway point of that race, and it just kind of ends with it.
Right, so you are still comfortably in P6 with a bit of damage. We see what was both lap runs for you. We've seen a race that even in race two. Where was race one as well as chaotic as race two, or were you quite happy that not enough chaos was happening throughout lap one in race one?
Um, I'd say it's improved compared to some other races. Like the overall cleanliness. Well, we didn't have to do like two restarts like we did like back in the day, or I think in the beginning of the first season, almost every race would have like a restart at the beginning. Right, and then maybe a second one, it'd be like no more after this, but none of that has been needed to be done. So it's pretty clean.
Right, so congratulations for you. Great race throughout both races, and congratulations for P1 in race 2. Do you have anything else to
Thank
tell
you.
us, or is that all from you?
Um, no, I don't think I have much to say except what's the next track? I
The next
forgot.
track, I might have a log here.
Imola.
Well, so, thoughts on
Mhm.
that?
Uh, I quite like the track. I don't know how it's gonna be with this car, but I imagine those chicane, the curbs are gonna be very jumpable. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
How does
These
the
cars
car
can take some
respond
air.
to high curbs? We've seen a few drivers attacking the curbs here as well.
Yeah. I know Andy Park has robotic like accuracy. Like if you watch a lap of his, he is just on the edge of every single like corner entry, like using all the curb. It's amazing.
Good to look out for next time for Imola. We might have an onboard race of Andy Park's lap.
Yeah.
Something with the setup as well. Do you have anything to tell us there, or no big issues with
Um,
that?
it was actually kind of scary. In the first race, I had a lot of front wing damage, but my setup is like a 17.7 on the wings, which balance is already quite low downforce on the front. So I had barely any turn in the first race after all the damage I took. So that's why I was really expecting to fall down, but the setup worked well for race two. That was fun. Car felt very nice to drive.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you so much for joining me here in the community booth, and congratulations for your P1 in race 2.
Thank you, thank you. Bye.
Goodbye. As that was race 2 winner Eastbrand Stopper, and next to join us up here will be picked by our race and directors. Let's see who will join me here in the community booth next.
I believe you can move people, but I'm gonna move them for you. The next one is, let's see, Tuki Gonzalez, P2 in race 2.
All right. So we have Tuki Gonzalez in here, race to P2 position. With his teammate up in P1, we've just had interviewed him. So Tuki, how do you feel after race 2?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it was quite unexpected. I think me and Isbran said to each other that we didn't expect to exactly be leading by that much. But yeah, I think we had really good pace in the second race, and I definitely felt like I was quicker, especially towards the end of the race. But I was struggling with traction out of the bus stop chicane in turn one. So I think those were the kind of the main points of overtaking. So I think that's what made me unable to take him today. But yeah, it was really good pace from both of us.
Where did you finish in race 1?
P5. I had a pretty bad start. I can't remember where I started. I think I started 6th or 7th. But I fell back to like 10th, and then I had to work my way back up to P5.
So how do you feel after both races? Are you happy with both results, or would you say you could have done better in any of those races?
No, I'm pretty happy with it, especially with the grid we have this season. People are really quick, so I think some people are quick on some tracks, some people are, but it seems everyone was really quick on this track. So, I mean, I was quite happy with my race pace to end up on the podium and then to finish P5 as well in the first race.
Nice. So nice to hear that your positions are happy, that you're happy with them both. We've asked your teammate also setup wise that you were struggling that with the front end. You already had very low downforce. With the damage, were you struggling as well with a few collisions as well, or were you just having...
In race 2, I didn't have any damage, but in race 1, I had a yellow rear wing, so it was really hard to kind of swing the car into corners. But in race 2, sorry, I didn't have any damage, so I felt like I had a lot more confidence in the car, and I think it showed when I was always catching up to the back of this brand, but it was just I couldn't get past him on the straight basically to beat him.
Incredible. So do you have any other words for us here, or was that all from you?
That's all for me. All I have to say is, yeah, thank you for commentating today as well.
I do this for you guys. Well then, I wish you the best of luck, a good rest of your Sunday, and good luck for the next race, Imola, I've heard. So
Yes,
can't wait
thank
to
you very
see
much.
around
Yeah.
there.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Here's for that.
Alright, goodbye. So next we might get, if I can find a race 1 winner. Saidi, is he here? Can we get our race 1 winner, Andy Park?
No, it doesn't look like Andy Park wants interviews, so the next one is going to be Arno.
Ooh, Arno.
Oh, hello.
Well, Arno, welcome to the commentary booth. You're next on the interview line. How did your 2 races go around Spa here?
It went all right. Honestly, my results might not look good, but I am actually quite happy with them. Like I've not made any major mistakes except for start of race 1, and yeah, I'm actually quite happy with how my race went.
Where'd you finish in both races?
I believe P11 in race 1 as I've let David by, and P13 or P12 in race 2. I've already forgotten, but I think it's P13.
And you're quite happy with those. Were you struggling with setup so far in this race, or were you comfortable with your setup?
No, the setup was. The thing is, I feel like I've actually got the car into a really comfortable window, a window out of which it was knocked out of that window in race 2 due to some damage to my rear wing. So I did have a moment where I just was going through Puon and the grip disappeared completely.
Not quite what you want to see. With damage, were you struggling with that as well so far in this race, or were you running cleaner and had less contacts?
Wait. What about running clean and having less contact in which race?
Both races. Were you struggling with damage?
I mean, I had damage. I wasn't really struggling with it. Even in race 2, after I realized I had damage and I was able to adjust accordingly, it wasn't really difficult to drive. I just had to be careful at Puon pretty much.
Yeah, Puon, I think I've seen many drivers pushing so far to the edge of the track. So interesting to see the insights of what the drivers think going through Puon. Thank you, Arno. Do you have anything to tell us here? Anything else to add?
I mean, I can tell you that we actually had some really good racing. Like, I mean, we have an image posted of people going 4 wide into the bus stop. myself, I made it 3 wide into the bus stop and somehow completely got away with it. No contact, no anything. I didn't gain a position, but yeah. And I have decided to celebrate my P13 with some pilk.
Oh yeah, Pilk.
I actually got proper Pepsi.
Do you want to tell what Pilk is?
Well, pilk is it's Pepsi and milk.
Well,
It's
that's,
quite
I
good.
guess, your type of
It's quite
champagne.
good actually.
I guess that's how you celebrate a race, with some, instead of champagne, with some Pilk.
Yeah, it's
well,
better than champagne.
I'll wish you the best of rest of Sunday. Enjoy your Pilk, and can't wait to see you next race in Imola. So interesting.
Imola! I forgot about Imola. That's what the next race is.
That's gonna be an
We were
interesting
talking
race.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll be there.
incredible.
See you later.
So enjoy your Sunday. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So who wants to be next up here?
Next up, David Cook, his teammate.
Hey, David.
Ah.
David.
Hello.
Incredible race for you, both races. I believe you finished P10 in both of them.
No, race 2 was horrible.
Where'd you finish in race 2?
12th.
We've talked to your teammate. He was quite happy with P11 and P13, I believe, his races. Hearing you now, were you also proud of those positions, or were you hoping to get better positions?
Put it this way, I had to go through race 1 and tell that story. I'm happy with it considering the circumstances, but if I had no damage, I don't think I would have been happy with that totally. I think I would have liked to have been inside the top 10. But like, you know, even though I was inside the top 10 anyway, but like that was with the fact I had damage. So the fact I finished 10th at all, I was pretty happy with that, because I don't know if you caught it on the broadcast, but Anno lost a bit of control and just rammed right into me at the start. So unfortunately, that dropped me all the way at the back. Race 2 was going somewhat better. I had a bit of a mistake early on just because of, like, you know, cars trying to sort themselves out, and I just couldn't quite find a place where I was comfortable. So I had to go off track a couple of times just to kind of make sure I got through the instance safely. And then I was up to 10th. I was catching, I was up to 11th. I was catching Egger and the other guy. I can't remember his name, but I lost it through no name on the gravel, spun round, and then that was kind of the end of my race. So I think race 2, I'm not totally happy, to be honest. I didn't have a lot of practice as well, so that is, I kind of have to kind of look at myself, look inward on there and say, didn't really practice, and yeah, I didn't really prepare myself correctly for like what came around. So I need to look at my prep, really. That's where I'm going all sorts of wrong there. Overall, there's a lot to take into the next round. I can't remember where that is, so you'll have to tell me. But other than that, a lot to improve for next time.
All right. Before we end it here, were you struggling with the setup? As you said, you didn't have much practice. Were you struggling with setup, or were you comfortable with it?
No, what I did was I reduced my rear ride height to stabilize the car a little bit, and that actually did the trick. So I was having a lot of I was a bit overkill with the oversteer, and so I'd lose the rear end quite a bit especially in practice and quali. In quali, I can cope with it because of the lighter fuel load, but if you have a heavy fuel load and you oversteer, that's kind of the end of your race. So what I did was I reduced the rear ride height just to kind of compensate for it. Like, I just needed a tiny change, and that did the trick. So once I did that, I was very comfortable in the car. I felt like I could do anything. It was just, unfortunately, I had a few things that didn't go my way, like I've stated earlier. So the setup of the car was fine. I feel like I'm finally in tune with it, and I know what to do.
Oh.
It's just actually putting the practice in now.
Well, now that sounds promising for the next race, Imola. Are you already familiar with Imola? Do you know any tricks for Imola? It's obviously just the high curve.
I like Imola, but I've not. I wouldn't know it like I know Sebring, put it that way. That's
Well,
a bit of an
is a
inside
different story.
Sebring is a totally different story. So Imola I like, and I've driven around it a few times, but I've not had the best of experiences there, and that's on another game. So I'm gonna be looking into, like, you know, just going into that one, but like, no, putting the practice, because that's a hard track to overtake on. It is very narrow, so qualifying will be very important.
Right.
If I don't have a ban.
Right. So, do you have anything else to add for us?
Not really, to be honest with you. I'm happy with Anno's sort of pace, he did very well in that race, considering. Like, it was just a bit of a shame we had that contact in race 1, but other than that, I've been really happy to have him as a teammate. He's kind of kept my head from just going haywire, and also I've done a bit of a mental reset as well, because especially after I had that collision with Kansi in Austria, and I just remember just being so frustrated, and I just needed a bit of a mental reset in racing. So in a way, I'm kind of glad I didn't practice too much, but at the same time, I know that would have helped as well. So this week was more of a mental reset than anything.
Now, we've heard from Arno that after this race he's gonna enjoy some pilk. Are you gonna join him there as well?
He actually did that on my stream already, so I'm not going to partake for obvious reasons. I hate pilk.
Okay, so no pilk for you, but obviously,
No.
yeah, maybe for next race you can give us some better performance, as you said, obviously with practice that you couldn't give us. Next race, Imola, obviously. A good track for our racing. We saw today in Spa, really great racing end. I wish you the best of a Sunday night, and good luck, and see you next time in Imola.
Yeah, see you in Imola.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah,
Well, maybe we're gonna have some pilk from Roland Justin.
Hello.
Hello, Roland. How did you both races go? I've seen you've been fighting for.
I think it went better than I expected, to be honest. Like, my pace was nowhere. Basically, on the practice sessions, I was like ahead of it. I was gonna be happy if I even got like a B5 at best. Qualifying, it was very interesting. Like, I was nowhere near my pace, but luckily that was the case for most of the grades. So still ended up P4 somehow. And then race 1, I got a good start. Overtook 2 people, then got re-overtaken by Sarah, but then managed to keep my position. So I was very satisfied with that. And then race 2, I think that was more reflective of my actual pace.
Where did you finish in both races?
P3 in the race 1 and P6 in the race 2. I think race 2 was a bit more realistic, because like what happened there is I had a decent start. I had some battles in the first 2 laps, and then basically everyone ahead of me just started pushing away because I couldn't keep up. So I was a bit in no man's land, because then the people behind me also didn't have the pace that I had. So pretty boring race from there on.
Right. What was the setup for you? Were you comfortable in your car, or were you struggling?
Most of the time, yeah, I was pretty comfortable. Apart from the last corner, I really didn't feel that one. That was a very tricky one. But I think again, this was the case for most of the drivers. So
Did you put a lot
pace
of
was-
traffic practice into today's race, or were you?
I did like the normal pre-quali amount, and then like as my usual routine, I logged in like 2 hours about before the race, and then did most of my practice then.
Right, so
I was
a
not
good
fresh.
chunk of practice went into.
Yeah, that's decent. But again, like back to the setup, I think it was comfortable, but I just didn't understand where I was losing the pace, so it was a bit frustrating in that sense.
Yeah, that's I can feel that. We've heard a few tips already from our drivers before. Maybe talking to a few of your colleagues here in this race,
Yeah.
you might figure something out. But obviously,
Yeah, could be.
everything goes across.
Always could be. Plus, I now have the lead in the championship, so I cannot be dissatisfied with that.
You win the championship.
Yeah, I think now, if I did the calculations correctly, I should be ahead of Jack. So
I believe so.
I can't be mad about the results.
Yes, you are.
Right,
Also,
so-
1-2 for the team in the second race, which is again amazing to see.
Yeah, with
Just to solidify the lead.
Leading championship here. Do you have
Yeah.
anything else to add for us?
No, I think that's all from me.
Incredible. So, I wish you the best of the Sunday night or
Thank you.
Sunday, depending on where you are, and see you next time in Imola. As obviously,
All right, that's gonna be a fun
different
one.
track than Spa. See you then. Goodbye.
See ya.
And the final one for today, Ege Kansai.
Hello, Ege Kansai. Welcome to the commentary box. Dear
Hello, guys.
Interview. So let's get the first question out. Well, how did you feel both races? Were you feeling comfortable?
Well, as I said in the last race at Austria, I needed some luck and I got it on race 2. Well, race 1 was, kinda crazy because I had a little incident with Arno. He had some lag and I crashed with him and dropped to P15. So that wasn't nice, but at the race 2, it was amazing. We were battling 4 people, there was Ray, Sarah, and Andy. We were 4 of a group, and we battled for 3-4 laps. And at one point, we got into bus stop, 4 people side by side, and we came out cleanly. That was a pretty nice move by me.
I had that on the stream. That was incredible. I remember that first race crash with Arno. I had that as well. Sadly, on camera.
Yeah, 4K Ultra HD.
Did a bit of a barrel roll on that grass, but obviously crashes can sadly happen. Are you happy with your positions, or with race 1? Obviously, if they crash, were you expecting way better?
Well, I was expecting a P9 because I was slower than Sarah and I was faster than the guys at the front, and I got exactly that thing at the race 2, so I can say I am quite happy with the result today. That was the pace I had.
Were you struggling with the setup, or were you comfortable with the car in today's race?
Well, I wasn't really struggling with the car. I really don't know why I was this low. Guys were doing 50s, and I was happy that I got a 51 lap at quali. And on race pace, actually, I was better. I could compete with others that were much better, like Andy, Sarah.
Right, so good to see that many of our drivers here have found that balance on the car. You as well. Were you hoping for anything better this race, or did it basically go as expected?
Yeah, my expectations were don't die on the first lap and just see what happens in the result, and I got my expectation, so I am quite happy with the result today.
Right, so do you have anything else to add for us?
No, thanks, man.
Right, so have a good evening or a good Sunday, depending on where you are, and see you next time in Imola.
See ya.
Goodbye. Alright, that was all our interviewees here. Saidu, anything to add for us for the end of the stream here?
No, nothing. It was a good race, fun to watch, and thank you very much to yourself for coming here, commentating for us.
Well, that's what I do. I am the commentator too for a reason. Well, that was round 5, Super Formula Cyanide Belgium here, and hope to see you next time in Imola. Wow, I nearly forgot that.
Yeah, it's
I
Imola.
was a commentator, Captain Foxy, and see you next time.
The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
Rise from the ashes.